All right, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Hindu, Sacred Leon. For fun movement. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Did they reveal the skills? No, they have not. So today, what we are gonna be doing is we usually do this, right? Right before the commanders gets revealed, we are trying to guess what kind of commander they are coming in. I have already prepared something like this. This is, last time we tried to guess Qin Huan. It did not turn out all too well, but some came quite close. So we're going to be doing this. And also, I do have a couple of guests for the live stream. I am going to be calling them in a bit. Yo, Oscar, what's up, man? What is up? What is up? Welcome. All right. Just give me a second. I need to set things up. I'm your new neighbor. Oh yeah, man. I saw you, man. I saw you. With that Zen skin. Okay, give me a second. I think I'm gonna be calling the guests really soon. Let me set things up. There you go. Okay. Let's call Cortex. We need to do some... Let's see. Wait a second.
Going on?
Yo, what's up, man? What is up? Give me a second. Let me adjust the volume. Man, this is the... I think before I did invite Davor with the Cooking Cooker tool, but this is like kind of like the first time me inviting some guests. The stream.
Your mic on Discord is weird.
What?
It sounds like you're very far away on Discord compared to on your stream.
I see. Give me a second. Maybe my microphone...
Maybe the wrong mic is selected.
Yes, it is actually. Hello?
Oh, there we go. That's better.
And there you go. Wait a second. Let me add OneTwo. All right. Hello.
Hello, boys.
Hello.
Oh my god, wait a second. Let me adjust the volume. Let's see. All right, OneTwo. Let's test, guys. How are the guests' volume are sounding?
Well, I can't hear myself, so you guys are gonna have to tell me.
Yeah.
Test 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, 1 2. I'm here. Hey, Cortex. Hey, Billict.
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, you guys? Thank you for coming. Glad you have you here. So again, for the viewers, yeah, we usually do the Guess the Commander live stream right before the commander arrives, and we just, have fun, theory craft, and try to guess what would be the new commander is gonna be looking like. And this time, I have decided to just invite some guests. I did try to invite Davor, but Davor was like, he said he's gonna have some rugby tournament right now, so he is not gonna. He couldn't come today, and I also asked Lambo as well, and Lambo was unavailable, unfortunately. And also because we got the Wedge 2, I think it was just perfect time for us to just fire up the stream and, you know, just have fun and try to guess the new commander. Because I kind of feel like they are gonna get their skill revealed very, very soon. So like I decided to just do this live stream today.
Yeah, I think I have some theories. So
nice.
Let's see.
Yeah. Okay, give me a second. So
we all do. We have a lot of wishes and we have a lot of questions.
I'm just adjusting the volume. Just give me a second. Just a second. Then I need to add. Let me add this. Or add this. And there we go. All right, first off, guys, thank you guys so much for coming in, Cortex and OneTwo, for accepting the invitation. And I think it is a good idea for us to start just, you know, from the player introduction. Let's start with Cortex, because nobody knows Cortex. So let me... I'm just joking, man. I'm just trying to find your profile. Where are you?
Huh? My profile?
Yeah.
Oh, in KVK.
Yeah.
I can.
Which alliance are you in?
I'm at 926 10 12. You should be able to find me there.
Ah, there you go.
Cortex, by the way, I saw your video when you moved and all the reasonings and all. It all makes sense.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I had a lot of people actually reach out about that video and the State of Imperium. So it seems like it was something a lot of people have been feeling.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't your intention to actually talk about the subject, but it turned out to be that you hit it. You hit the nail on the head with it.
I appreciate it.
Guys, let me know how's the volume looking like or sounding like. So our first guest is Cortex. Cortex, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm a content creator. I'm also a co-owner of the TKC Discord server. I also have a website called MetaROK, and yeah, I'm in KVK with Billick now, so gonna have some fun together. We're allies.
Yeah, we are allies in this cake, and here's our boy Cortex.
Been a Imperium player for 6 years until, well, I migrated to 3505 now. Been in leadership, many kingdoms, etc. Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say about me. Not that interesting.
Well, very, very experienced player, playing on the highest level of KKs up until recently, right?
Yeah.
And we also
we
have...
got a pretty big KVK here too.
Yeah. Man, I'm so excited about this KK, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, I think.
Yeah. And we also have, speaking of experienced player, we also have another extremely experienced and big boy player, OneTwo. He is also a big supporter of the channel, so I wanted to invite him as well. OneTwo, please introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me for this theory crafting. It's a pleasure to be here with you and Cortex. All of us have a lot of experience behind us. You're a math guy. Cortex had experienced Imperiums and all sorts of aspects of the game. For me personally, I've played since September 2018. It's been a while. My journey was also a mix. I was back in the day in 1093 when it was huge, when you could have migrated with one passport during KVK. So those were the days. The journey went from 1093 to 307 to a small project with some friends we had around Kingdom. I chased the Osiris League with 2748, and now I decided to join 960 with so Osiris League project. We're gonna see what we can do.
So okay, so 960 right now. You guys just entered KK, right?
Yeah, we landed in KVK.
Yeah. Also, so you guys are also now kind of gonna focus towards Osiris League.
Yeah, we're going to participate in KVK, of course, but we're going to try to do a deep run in Osiris League as well.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Huge update from 60GT. I'm sure everybody was wondering what 60GT was doing, and here you go. All right. Let's go back. So yeah, this live stream is just, we're gonna have some fun, theory craft, and just try to guess what would be the next upcoming commander, like skills, like the stats, and and see when the new commander actually gets released, the skill gets revealed. We will see if we were correct or not. But this is just like a nice and chill live stream, and try to guess what would be the commander. All right, so wait, I think I need to share my screen as well, right, for you guys on the Discord. Yeah, this should be good.
See.
Let's read some chat. What you guys saying? What criteria that contributed to this chat? No, this is there's no criteria. It's just we have Herman, Zugulian, Chinshi with the AoE or not. It's just a simple checklist, and we are gonna be trying to guess the next Archer Commander. Show Cortex website. Man, Cortex, I think people are asking the website, man. Cortex, if you are watching the stream, you can just link the website.
Oh yeah, sure. You want me to link it in the chat or in
your
DM?
In the chat.
Alright, here you go.
Wait, what happened to my... Wait.
Oh yeah, because you started the stream. Your layout on your stream. Good.
Man, this is, first time me just inviting guests and everything, so... there's a learning curve right there. There you go. There you go. Is new Archer going to be a new gen? Well, let's talk about that. Alright, so... So maybe let's just start off Cortex. What do you think the new Archer Commander is gonna be? Like the is he gonna be AoE? Probably, of course he's gonna be AoE most likely. But like the main mechanics, like what do you think?
Well, I have a few theories. I'll start off with the one that I want to happen, because I think this will be cool. Is that poison has been a thing historically for archers a few times, right? We had Tomeris, and then we have had Herman.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of on its way out now. People are kind of feeling about Herman. Tomeris is obviously a long time gone. But if they released a poison commander, could be AoE, could be single target, doesn't really matter that much, I think. But a poison synergy commander, because Herman has a lot of stuff. He takes less damage from poison targets. He also casts his active skill more whenever he poisons a target, right? So I think that would be something really cool for archers to go all in on that sort of poison thing. And it would also make Qin Shi Huang a lot stronger, right? When there's poison everywhere, because that means he's dealing a lot more damage to everyone. So I think the poison theory could be pretty good. But what I don't actually think it's going to happen. That's what I want to happen. But what I actually think is going to happen is maybe a single target commander stat stick. I have a feeling. Even though I don't want it, but I just have a feeling.
Ah, so you think it's gonna be single target, but it's gonna be poison?
No. I think it's gonna be a single target commander with a lot of stats and high skill damage bonus. That's what I think is going to happen.
Most likely. Okay, so your likely suggestion is single target, and then very high stats. Oh, what is this? Very high stats. Okay, let me just write it down. But there is another variation that you would like to have happen is like some sort of AoE poison.
Yeah, AoE poison synergy with Herman that also has something in their kit that, let's say, when you're hitting a poison target or when you poison a target, you get this or that buff. So Herman has similar things, right? So if they released another poison commander that also gets different benefits from fighting poisoned enemies or applying poison, then that could be a pretty strong combo, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that is gonna be like that might make sense. Herman will have a really nice synergy. That could happen. Single target is. I just hope that they don't do that, man.
Yeah, I also hope they don't, but I just have a feeling. Because
Alright.
like Sun Tzu is like kind of single target, right? GG is single target.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a feeling it might be single target, even though I don't want it.
All right. So okay. So OneTwo, what do you think about it? What is your opinion?
Well, I gave it a lot of thought, and now Cortex gave me some new ideas, which I really like. I think you might be onto something, because aside our wishes or wishful thinking, what commanders will be or should be, we also need to think about the synergy with what we already have. Of course, that we would like to have an AoE commander, but we need something to revive one of those that we have already. So what Cortex said with the poison, it is a very viable option. And also what he said about big single target, it could happen something like that, and then give a poison effect or boost the AoE damage of the secondary commander that we already have, whether it's going to be Herman or Zhuge, enough to make them viable and hold us off on till we see the next generation after that, because we always have a leap. We always have to do some kind of a compromise with new commanders when we pair, until we get a pair. Like we saw, like how long we had Scipio Emilianus, we didn't have natural pair for the rally. We sort of have Super Thai now and things like that. It's always some kind of a transitional time that we have, that we need to use what we have with something that's new. Shajar was for everybody sort of a big disappointment. There was a lot of potential, but unfortunately that doesn't work. And right now we are in a similar situation. Okay, we do have Qin Shi Huang now, which for me was at the time almost unholy commander that they released just to keep archers viable in the field. But we are not far from that now. We do have one march, but the second archer march is basically unusable. At least that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So we do need something strong that's gonna be viable to the next generation of archers, but also revive something that we have. I do really like Cortex's idea to make some kind of a synergy with poison, but yeah, that's another layer of theory crafting.
Yeah.
What I originally thought before they showed Wedge 2, I think Wedge 2 changes a game a lot, because we can see that it is way more powerful.
Yeah.
First, when I thought, okay, what we need is Qin 2.0, but with Wedge 2, we don't. We just need a strong commander that's going to revive something, what we have, and be viable. I think some sort of rage control would be interesting, whether it's being immune, mitigating some of the rage disruption that a lot of commanders are now doing, or perhaps also have a faster rage engine like Zhuge has, but maybe something a little bit more advanced, so we see like a faster cycles of that. And of course, we are focused a lot on the field commander. We do have to think that probably going to get a new garrison.
Yeah.
Guy, which is also changing a lot of the aspects because of the Wedge 2, because some of the testings are showing that Wedge 2 is really strong with what we already have.
Hey, Mafu is joining with the raid us. Welcome everybody. Mafu, thank you so much for the raid. Let me just give a shout out to our boy Mafu. I think I do have his channel, hopefully. Here from Mafu. Welcome everybody. Welcome Mafu. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome for those who are joining the live stream. Let me just give me a second. I mean, I need to give a shout out to my boy Mafu. Whaleful raid, indeed. Welcome everybody. We are theory crafting and trying to guess what would be the upcoming new archer commander is going to be, because I feel like we're gonna get like skill reveal very, very soon. So before that, we're just having fun and just sharing our thoughts what would be the new commanders. And also, speaking of that, chat, if you guys have like, hey, I think the new archer commander is gonna be this and that, just let me know. This is let's just we are all gonna share our thoughts and try to come up with some couple of variations, and I will record and write down the variations here. Then we'll see, man. We'll see if we guessed it correct or not. Last time we did try to guess Qin Huan, but it was completely off. There was one player who suggested that the new archer commander could have like some sort of debuff effect that drains damage and then adds that damage bonus to himself. That was before Qin Huan. And technically Qin Huan is kind of like having similar effect. I mean, he is not like exactly draining bonus damage, but he's draining rage, so it's I mean, it was, some of the stuff was quite close. Some of the stuff was quite close. And also, yeah, I do also agree with OneTwo. I think we need to also consider the Wedge 2, because we just got Wedge 2, and there also might be a very high chance that the new commander works very, very well with the Wedge 2.
New inscriptions.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there was one idea that came is like the Wedge 2 in the instrument. The legendary inscription is like, for every 300 rage the wielder has, the troop is dealing more damage, right? So there was like this one idea, like what if the new archers like rage requirement is above 1000, right? Maybe like 1000. Like it's kind of like Henry. It's Henry, right?
Edward.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it's
Edward.
Edward.
Yeah, Edward. Yes, it's kind of like Edward, but in today's meta, having like a really high rage requirement is actually gonna be really bad. So in order to counteract that, the new archer commander also has a very high rage generation. So after all, it's just gonna be like as same as like a normal commander, like casting their skill every 7 or 8 seconds, but just the rage cap is higher, and then he also generates like a more rage or something like that. But that was just an idea. I hope they will not abandon healing of archers. And I think they like completely abandoned the idea of true damage, right? If I understood correctly, on archers.
From what I heard, yeah.
That was said, and then we see it on infantry.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand why they released the true damage on Sun Tzu Prime, because like
to avoid cascade effect, right?
yeah, like the Sun Tzu Prime had to have true damage. Otherwise, if the extra damage that he was dealing was just the normal smite damage, then Sun Tzu Prime would have been way too overpowered, in my opinion. Just because of the talent, the smite damage reduces 45 rage, right? And then when you are pairing Sun Tzu with Bai Chi, especially Bai Chi's third skill, he does the Malice Dex damage. So technically, with Bai Chi, for the duration of 5 seconds of the buff, the military sage effect, they could be like machine gunning their like a small smite damage. So that's each small smite damage tick is gonna be reducing target's rage by 45. So that would have been like way too overpowered, in my opinion. That's why Sun Tzu Prime, I think they nerfed him, just changed the damage type to true damage. That's what I thought.
Yeah. When he deals smite, it converts to true. If it made secondary damage also smite, it would cascade into another series of the smite damages until the buff runs out.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's also true. Oh yeah, that's also true. So it's gonna trigger off of each other, right?
Yeah, it would be cascade effect. It would be crazy, I think.
I mean, they did like limit it, like this effect can trigger like up to 1 time per second. So I guess they did limit. I mean, they could limit like this, but even if they fix this chain effect, I mean, I think it's still gonna be way too overpowered. And then Sun Tzu Prime Bai Chi is gonna be like godlike pairs for the longest time, in my opinion. Yeah, so yeah, what do you guys think about the increased rage thingy on, especially on this Indomitable? I kind of feel like since they just released this Wedge 2, it might make sense for the new archers. It's like really fitting for this Wedge 2. That's what I thought.
I would be strongly against it. I think that buff is not worth it.
Yeah, I also agree. Unless the commander works fundamentally in a way where reaching that rage cap is not an issue and it can do it in the same time as other commanders can reach 1000, then sure. But if it's like a really slow skill cycle in today's meta, it just would not work like at all.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It would be just like using Edward again, trading off too much for what you get for it.
Let's see. Dia says idea debuff against smite and combo. If troopers hit with smite or combo, chance to reduce their normal damage. So this kind of also. So before we theory crafting Qin Shi Huan, before he arrived, People were also suggesting that Archer Commanders gets focused on open field like the most, right? So people were saying like, what if the commander has an effect whenever he gets hit, he applies some sort of debuff or something like that.
I don't know. I don't feel like the targeting is really that like real. Like, do people genuinely like look at what troop type they hit? Because at least in my like gameplay, I look at whoever's out of position, right, and try to hit them. I don't specifically look for troop types or commanders or because it's too much microing, right? I rather just see who's in a good spot to hit without me going too much out of position, and then you hit them, right? At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's if you're going to go and pick out archers in a big murder ball, you're never going to get on top. You just pick what's a natural target, what's closest, then you just go for it. There are certain controlled environments in the arc and things like that where it could be a thing, but open field, because some commanders do die faster, I just think it's because they're outdated more than they're being specifically targeted.
I agree.
And Nemo says it's gonna be Boudica 2.0 since GG is Nevsky 2.0.
It's possible. I mean, if we look at the like trend, right? We had like a single target sort of cycle. If we look at the cavalry, infantry, and archers, we had Shajar for archers, we had Belisarius Prime for cavalry, and we had William Wallace for infantry, right? Those were all three single target commanders in the same cycle. And then the cycle after, we had Qin Shi Huang, we had Bai Qi, and we had Arthur, all AoE commanders, right?
Yeah.
For all three different troop types. And then now we've had Gigi, which is single target. We've had Sun Tzu, which is well kind of AoE with his true damage, but also at the same time, the baseline of his skill is a single target skill, right? The AoE is an extra effect. So I feel like it is very possible that it's sort of one cycle single target, next cycle AoE, then cycle single target again. That seems like what they've been doing. So I would not be surprised if we get a single target archer commander that's going to bring like a Herman back if there's a poison synergy, or maybe some crazy pairing for QSH that would make him even more broken. Something like that. I have a feeling they might get.
I think that it's more likely that the new commander is going to be primary than secondary. And I keep going back. Cortex, you really you really put idea of the poison in my head. Now I'm churning that idea over and over. I'm just, as much as it would be interesting, I'm not sure how, without some extra effect, it would be effective, because not many commanders are dealing skill damage anymore. But if it had some kind of effect, it would be really nice.
All right, so how about yes, Cortex?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna reply. I would say, I mean, yeah, it would basically only enhance archers, right? The poison these days, unless that commander specifically benefits a lot from like fighting poison targets. Let's say, right? Like, let's say he gets a incremental damage bonus the more poison stacks is applied to the target he's hitting, or something along those lines, right? Like that could make him very powerful.
Yes, or that he leeches rage out of them or something.
Yeah, or maybe he can also clear the poison stacks, right? Like Tomeris used to be able to do. And then he can gain a lot of benefits or deal extra damage because of that. Maybe something, I don't know.
Okay, so how about we do this? Let us start from the single target stat stick commander, and we will just try to guess what will be the damage and what are the other stats and effects are gonna be. But do you guys think that if the new archer is gonna be single target, I wonder if they are gonna be given like the poison poison effect. I think if just in case if they are gonna go the route of poison, it might be some sort of AoE, right? What do you guys think?
I mean, doesn't have to be AoE to be poison. Tomeris was single target. I think obviously it would be stronger if it was AoE. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't think we're getting another AoE commander now. I feel like we're going to get a single target commander.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So we can start from the single target. What do you guys think the damage factor is gonna be? I think it's gonna be like 3,000 or something like that.
If
to
it's
be at
single,
least 3,000, right?
it's going to be 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start from the single target, and then we will also, the next version is gonna be like AoE, and we'll just try to guess. So 3,000 damage factor. Oh wait. So single target. I need to write this 3,000 damage factor here. Do you think it's gonna have like instant proc damage? Does it make sense for it to have a instant proc damage? Like Herman does have for the poison effect. Herman does have an instant proc damage, right? Maybe Philip has AoE proc damage as well, something like that.
Archers tend to have a lot of that. Cyrus has it.
Yeah.
A lot of commanders do have that, some kind of a insta proc damage, but it's difficult to say. It's really difficult to say.
I feel like
I mean, single target, maybe yes.
Yeah, I also think that if the commander is gonna be single target, then in today's meta, I think it has to have some sort of instant proc damage as well. Because just like only single target is, I think it's just not gonna be enough. For example, Sun Tzu Prime, yes, he is single, but he also does AoE true. And Kangan Chan is, yes, he is single, but he is combo commander, right? So combo commanders can proc like the effects from basic attacks. So he is still proccing like accessories and the talents more, so he has some upper hand. So I also do think that maybe has some proc damage for sure. That's
yeah,
what
maybe even a proccable AoE could be possible.
Yeah. I
think it will have some sort of proc if it's single target.
If it's a single target, then it's very, very possible to have some kind of a smaller AoE factor on a couple of targets.
Yeah. And we are also leaving the question mark of poison effect, right? Even if it's single target, it might have poison as well. So maybe like the instant proc like AoE could also do some sort of poison as well. So it
could be.
It might not have poison. It also could have poison, but we're just gonna leave this poison effect just a question mark. And the instant proc damage AoE, most likely it's gonna be the case, but I'm just gonna leave it like a maybe, right? So question mark. Let's.
And since current meta supports multiple troop types, the poison stacks may not be just affecting skill damage, but maybe other types of damage too. We've seen that on commanders. Like Alex has very powerful expertise when he debuffs a lot of targets around him that they take more damage dealt. So effect might be something like that too.
Yeah, maybe like a rework of the poison kind of.
Yo, what if like something like this?
Sense.
So what if applies poison, like same poison effect like Herman and Tomares, but like maybe this is just a fun thought. Maybe like upon reaching like 10 stacks of a poison on maybe on the one target, it blows up and does a damage. Is that possible?
I mean, that would be cool. Like upon, or like let's say when you cast your active skill, right, on a target that has let's say 10 or more poison stacks, then it does an AoE damage around the target to nearby enemies. Maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe also spreads more poison to the enemies that are hit by that explosion.
Yeah. Yeah, like if the explosion is like AoE damage, then it's not gonna be like crazy damage factor, but still like maybe 200, 300 or 400
just
damage factor is gonna be like something interesting stuff, right?
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Okay, so let me just. This is just an interesting thought. Poison.
Yeah, because like OneTwo said, if they're going to move forward with like regular poison, it's not going to be very beneficial to many other commanders apart from the skill damage commanders, which are mostly archers these days, and long term will be probably only archers. So it needs to have some sort of, if it's going to be poison, it needs to have some sort of benefit for itself to benefit a lot from poison, right? Or like he also mentioned, maybe convert it to like skill damage taken, smite damage taken, and combo damage taken.
Yeah,
to adjust it to current meta, you know, make it viable for current situation on the field.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, chat, we are gonna go to the stats very soon. So let us know what would be the commander, like the stats. Just type in the chat, and we shall go there in a bit. Okay, so we are on the single target. Most likely, if it's single target is very highly likely the chance. Again, looking at the current trend, it's Sun Tzu Prime is single target. Technically a little bit AoE, but single target. Kangamchan is single target. So Archer Commander most likely a single target. That's what we are discussing. And there are also other options like it could be AoE as well. We can also make another like Theorycraft AoE commander like quite easily. So we will go into that in a bit. And then even if it's single target, it might have some sort of AoE. And it also could have some poison effect, and the AoE might proc the poisons, or the poisons might blow up and then does AoE damage or something like that. It's there are some possibilities and interesting stuff. I think if Lilith is watching, I mean, they could also note down some points.
I think if they're watching, they're laughing right now.
Yeah. Maybe we are completely wrong.
Think, oh, those guys don't have any idea what to cook for them.
Yeah, Lilith can be really, really unpredictable. Like a lot of the time, like they're insane. So either they're watching and like they're like, oh, okay, these guys are cute. They're completely wrong. Or they're like, okay, these guys are onto something. Okay. Or they're like, all right, these guys are coming in with some interesting ideas. Let us just write it down, maybe in a future reference, you know.
Yeah, we're just completely wrong. They're gonna give us an Archer Attila that increases normal damage dealt based on your skill damage bonus.
That is going to be insane, man.
Imagine they put up a commander again that has absolutely no damage on the primary. That would be insane. I think the community would flip.
Yeah, like the Attila, but.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if it's going to be... I think they're scared of one thing for archers, right? It's releasing something that's too broken with QSH, because already YSG or ZL make him like very, very strong, right? Because the thing is, if they were to release a single target damage dealer that's like a stat stick, it would need a lot of skill damage bonus to be a viable commanders for archers, right? So I think they would be probably a bit scared of making a too strong pair for QSH. So maybe they would also implement some sort of way to force that commander to be a primary, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely on point there, Cortex. I don't think that's what I meant when I said I think it's going to be primary commander to avoid being paired with QSH. It would be just too broken.
Yeah, and also QSH doesn't need any help, right? It's the second or third for those people that run multiple archer marches. Those are the marches that actually need some help right now, right? It's not like QSH.
You are archer. Yeah, you're archer guy, right, Cortex?
Yes, correct. I run 3.
Which, if you had to pick one archer to be revived, which one would you like that new pair revives?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. I don't know, like, I have to think what's revivable also, right? Like, I feel like right now, Herman is on his way out, especially of the 2 Archer March meta, right?
Yeah.
Ash
Shajar
is kind of like a
seems
filler if you're on 3.
unsolvable.
Shajar, yeah, I don't think Shajar is savable. Also, there's commanders like Nebu, and they don't do anything special, right? They're just AoE damage dealer, but their numbers are too low. Cyrus, I don't see it either. Boudica, no. Like, I don't see a lot of potential with a lot of the older Archer commanders, right? So I feel like the only real commander to like keep alive, so to speak, before he dies is Herman, right? That they need to try to save. Because let's say for 2 Archer marches, right? Like next cycle, if they release, I don't know, let's just say some AoE commander that's a very generic, like a ZL 2.0, then what you'll likely do is just keep running QSH with YSG and then run the new dude with ZL, right? And then Herman is dead for 2 Archer marches. Whereas if they release, I don't know, let's say some Poison Commander or something that works well with Herman, then you can run that new guy with Herman and run QSH with ZL, and then YSG hits the bench for 2 Archer marches, right?
Would you still bench YSG over Zuge?
I think yes. I think like the individual March performance, it's pretty close. And you have a good point and something to think about, especially now with Wedge 2, is that I think YSG became stronger actually with Wedge 2 because of all the extra boosts from the Wedge 2 inscriptions, right? So it is possible that YSG might just be a stronger commander than ZL. I don't know, I value ZL's debuff a lot though.
Yeah.
So I think I would probably... Well, I run 3 archers personally, so I would still use both of them, but... Yeah, I don't know what I would do.
Here, my role here more is of like, I always opposed archers. I never really liked them. But there is one arch commander that I really liked from day one. And for me, that's Zhuge. I really liked him always. And I would, if it was me, I would like that he's kept alive with the new archer. Plus, I like his rage engine.
Yeah, I mean it's great. I think I would bench YSG for 2 marches probably. For 3, like personally, I run 3 archers, right? So I would of course keep using the QSH YSG no matter what, and then find a way to use Herman or CL with the new guy, and then probably the last guy either with Philip or with Asher, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, also I also run 2 Archer March, right? If they release a generic like Zugulian 2.0, I might just bench my YSG because I also like Zugulian's the rage generation and the debuff as well. So I might do that. Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys think about what is going to be the stats of the new commander? Let's read the chat. So some saying, okay, Amy says 30% HP, 10% attack, and 20% movement speed. Daniel says 30% movement speed. What? 40% attack and 20% defense. Zavarudo also says 20% movement speed, 40% attack, and 30% a health and 10% defense. That is total 80% stats.
That's very wishful thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Brawler says 20% march speed, 30% attack, 10 or 20% HP. I feel like the stat is gonna be also like around maybe total 50% stat. Maybe
That's including every stat the commander is having, like damage bonuses, damage reductions,
No.
or is it just like generic stats?
Yeah, it's just attack, defense, HP. Let's just talk about attack,
Okay,
defense,
okay.
HP first. Yeah.
I feel like 25% march speed is likely, especially on a single target commander. It's similar to what Sun Tzu Prime got, right? He got 25%. And then I think 50% stats, I mean, could be anything, I don't know. Maybe for archers, would be great for archers, defense attack maybe. So yeah, maybe I'll say 30% attack, 20% defense, 25% march speed. That would be my guess.
Let me just write it down: 20% defense and 25% march speed. Okay, so let's OneTwo, what do you think? Let's hear your opinion.
Well, archers historically mostly had strong HP and march speed because they really needed it. And on last generation on QSH we saw 20 30 20, if I'm not mistaken, 20 march speed, 30 defense, and 20 health. So maybe something similar in that line. Either they're going to go back to strong HP and strong march speed, or they're going to have smaller but over 3 stats. I'm not sure how. They did sometimes put a lot of attack on them, but I'm not sure if that would work because we need to give them something. We need to give them some sustainability on the field. So I would prefer that they give defensive stats in form of defense and health or health, and of course a lot of march speed.
So let's just so maybe similar stats like Qin does have 30% defense and 20% HP, right?
I think so. I think he's 20 30 20
Yeah.
march speed, 30 defense, 20 health. It's either going to be something like that, or it's going to be like, I don't know, 35 health and 30 march speed, which is very repeatable on them.
Okay.
That's what we saw on Edward, and that's what we saw on Shujar. A lot of HP, a lot of march speed.
Right. So in terms of march speed, so this is my thought. Okay, what do you guys think? I think that the new archer commander, let's see. Yeah, so yeah, we are thinking about the guy is going to be primary commander, right? But he is gonna have some poison and stuff. So if he is gonna have some poison effect, then definitely we are gonna be pairing the new guy with Herman, right? Most likely. The new guy is gonna be primary, and then Herman is gonna be like maybe secondary, or Herman could be also primary as well. No, the new guy, we are trying to make him primary, right? In order to avoid pairing him with Qin.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, if they naturally make him like just a poison synergy and it's just like it makes sense to pair him with Herman, I don't think it's necessary to make him like a must be primary. Like, I mean, the only like reason you would want to like pair with QSH is if he has some crazy sort of skill damage bonuses, right? That would make QSH go ballistic. But if he doesn't have that, and if he's a poison synergy, then I don't think he would even be that strong with QSH in the first place. Like, sure, it's gonna perform well, but I don't see it being better than just pairing it with Herman either way.
Yeah. Would you agree that if his single target with big damage, that he wouldn't have a very high skill damage bonus? But if he was AoE, that the skill damage bonus will be probably much better, much higher.
Historically, that has been accurate, right? Like if we look at ZL, or if we look at all the way back to YSG, which I still don't know who let YSG pass through the cracks back in the day. If we think how old that commander is and how they released him with a 50% skill damage bonus, but yeah, I feel like you're right, and historically that has been the case, right? Like high AoE damage commanders usually have higher skill damage bonuses also, whereas single target commanders usually have not had a lot of skill damage bonuses, at least for archers. But if we look at cavalry, for instance, right, then you have the Huo, you have the Nevsky. They've been single target commanders with very, very high skill damage bonuses, but for archers that has not been historically true.
So what I'm thinking is that this is a little bit weird. So I think that the new Archer Commander, it's just a possibility, okay? It's just a possibility. If he is getting paired with Herman, then he might not have that much march speed, because Herman already has a built-in march speed of 15%, and then if the new guy is like 25%, they are total of 40% march speed, like insanely Ferrari fast. And then on the other hand, Qinshi Zhuge Liang or Qinshi YSG with only 20% march speed. So it's gonna be a little bit like the balance is a little bit not there. But if the guy is not poison, then most likely we still gonna use Zhuge Liang and YSG with maybe Qinshi Huan, and then Zhuge Liang with this new guy. So Zhuge Liang does not have any march speed on himself, so the march speed does make sense.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Although, like, the infantry pairs are very fast, but I see what you're saying with this. The one of the archer marches will be a lot slower than the others if you pair this new dude with Herman and they both had high march speed.
And Zhuge has none, right?
Yeah, Zhuge has none, YSG has none.
Yeah.
So right now, like, USH provides march speed for YSG and Herman provides march speed for Zhuge Liang, right?
Yes. Herman has 15%, YSG has 20%.
YSG has 0. Okay, yeah, QSH has 20, yeah.
So what I'm thinking is, like, if the guy does have some sort of poison effect and it's meant to be paired with like Herman, and then the new guy Herman, and then they are forcing us to bench, maybe like trying to bench YSG, right? So it's gonna be Qinshi Huan Zhuge Liang or something like that. So in that case, the new guy might not have like a march speed, maybe like, I mean, 5-10%, I don't think it's gonna make sense. I mean, if they're gonna give a march speed, it's definitely gonna be minimum like 20% or something like that, and maybe even 25.
Yeah, if it shows, if it happens, march speed is not going to be below 20%.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit of like what is the word, dilemma or something like that. If it's poison, then maybe no march speed. That's just what I think. Maybe they'll just give it. I mean, who knows? Like Lilith,
they might just give it anyway.
Yeah, Lilith can be unpredictable. Who knows? They'll just give it.
It's possible they want to balance the march speed more, right? Because, I mean, even if we look back in the day, infantry used to be very, very slow, but look at all the commanders they've gotten recently, all have tons of march speed, right?
Yeah. Okay, so let's just like put it down 20 to 25% march speed, or maybe 0. So either it's gonna have like, just, you know, it doesn't matter, they will just give minimum 20 and around maybe 25%, or maybe 0. But 0 is like, if they give 0% march speed this time, then the next commander definitely gonna have some march speed on built them on themselves as well.
If they don't put any march speed on it, then Zhuge is definitely out.
Out of the question for the pairing, Then it's either going to be a QSH pair or a Herman pair, which,
Yeah.
Because it's like back in the day, right? Some people tried to use Zhuge Liang with YSG and it just was so slow. Like you can't do anything because they have 0% march speed, right?
Yeah. That is true. Okay, so in terms, let me read the chat. People are saying 30% HP, 10% attack. At 30% HP and 10% defense, maybe attack is not good for archers. 20% is probably the minimum.
Attack is good for archers, but it's the thing is they need something else more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that like Herman does have 20% attack and 20% defense.
Bilek, you're the math guy. How much does attack translates into skill damage factor?
It's kind of similar to Davor's calculation where he converted the attack stats, defense, and HP into all damage. So it's gonna be around like 2.5% attack is gonna equal to like 1%, something like that. And if we stack more and more attack, then it's gonna be like go to like 3% attack, it's gonna be equal to like 1% damage or something like that. So yeah, the attack is also kind of like a multiplier to the damage formula. So attack, bonus, and boost, they are all multiplier, but the reason why boost is being more effective than attack or bonus is we have a ton of attack already. All of the marches already reach like 200% attack, like with the techs and gears and stuff. Also, they reach like a 200% defense as well, but in terms of like HP, it's like around 100%, so we are lacking HP. And then if you think about the bonuses, a lot of commanders does have like a skill damage bonus and build them in themselves, and also the talent gives a lot of bonus. And then we have a Wedge that is given the bonus as well, but boost is the least, like a limited resource. So boost is, that's why being important. But attack, in terms of attack, it's like around like 2.5 to 3%. It's gonna be equal to like 1%. Damage bonus means it's also skill damage bonus as well.
Yeah. So if he gets 30% attack, that would be.
That's around like 10% skill damage bonus or something like that.
Yeah.
There is another thing to keep in mind with a Herman synergy, though, is that he has a bonus to AoE damage dealt.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So we're thinking about a single target commander to synergize with Herman, but if they're making specifically a Herman synergy, it would not make much sense to release a single target damage commander.
Or it might make sense if the poison blows up and then the blow up damage considered AoE.
Maybe you're onto something with the poison exploding. That's the way they're going to make the AoE damage from Herman work.
Billy really likes the explosion thing.
Yeah.
You might be onto something, like unironically, you might be.
I guess I just want to make that work. It just sounds interesting, man. Like, the single target is the trigger of the poison blowing up. So you stack poison, and then whenever you shoot your single target damage, it just blows up whatever stack it has or something like that. Maybe.
Right, so depending on how many stacks they have, the more damage it deals to everyone around them as well.
Yeah. And then that's considered as an AoE damage or something like that.
Yeah. Now we're gonna bring Tomeris back to stack up everyone and blow them up.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then the blow up damage also applies like one stack of poison or something like that, maybe.
And then imagine some auxiliary skill KVK.
Mm-hmm. When you can you can use Herman with the new poison guy with Tomeris fourth skill, and it's just gonna go absolutely mental.
Poison explosion would be dope, but seems like a dream though. Maybe it could explain why they delayed the archers. I'm praying. Yeah, it's just fun thought, but Cortex brought out really good the point. Like Herman does have 20% AoE skill damage bonus. Right? It is limited to AoE. So if this guy is meant to get paired with Herman that has some sort of poison effect, then this guy should not be like a single target. It might be an AoE or something like that. Or if this guy is a single target anyways, then he does not have a poison effect, which means Herman is most likely getting benched, and then this new guy is gonna get paired with Zhuge and then Qin Shi Huang is still gonna stay with YSG.
But it still could be viable. We did brainstorm an idea that there would be reactive AoE damage from him. Yeah. And then it would be affected with Herman's boost to skill damage.
Yeah, that would kind of like synergize well, for sure. I mean, if they're gonna be So one thing for sure is that I also do really agree that I don't think they are gonna be releasing a commander that goes really well with Qin Shi Huan. Qin Shi Huan is primary commander, so if they make like a up-to-date meta strong commander and then pairs with Qin Shi Huan, then that March is gonna be way too strong. So they might try to balance things out. So the new guys also has to be like some sort of primary commander, right? So in that case, yeah, this poison effect, maybe, who knows.
I wasn't really thinking about poison until Cortex brought it up, and now it's all I'm thinking about.
Man, yeah, I think
it's just my dream as an archer player.
I think we just all want to see this. I mean, it's kind of like the cool concept, right? I also want to see this. Like, I also want to I want to pair this guy with Herman. Herman is given only 20% attack and 20% defense, so this guy maybe has more defense or a little bit of defensive stats, HP as well, just like OneTwo said. But does a poison damage and explosion and everything. Not too much like AoE bonus and stuff like that. If it's given a too much skill damage bonus, it might get paired well with Qin Shi Huan, because I think I've seen so Ihara went crazy, man. What she did was, I think she was using I don't know if it was cavalry or archer, but there was no artifact, but she still used Qin Shi Huan primary with Nevsky secondary, and maybe she used like cavalry gear on it or something like that. I don't remember.
What?
And she was pulling off crazy reports, because Nevsky does give you crazy amount of skill damage bonus, right? And she just played that like.
But that's based on having calves, I think.
Yeah, maybe maybe she had calves, and then she just slapped on Qin Shi Huan primary and with cavalry gear, and Qin Shi Huan is just there to, I mean, Qin Shi Huan is also like, yes, he does give like archer stats, right? But his fourth skill, which reduces damage, I mean, it works with all troop types. I mean,
but doesn't Nevsky give less skill damage than YSG?
I think Nevsky's skill damage can go up to 70. Let's see.
Isn't it 60? And YSG is 62 constantly, right?
Oh yeah, you are right.
He's 60, but YSG with the museum.
It's 62.
Yeah, 62. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it makes much sense.
It doesn't make any sense, especially because it's conditional to having cab. Troop has to be cab.
Yeah, like I think in an artifact KVK you can pull it probably, right? Where you run Nevsky as an archer, then sure, it's gonna probably perform very well. But especially because Nevsky also gives you a lot of tanky stats, right?
Yeah, Nevsky's tanky.
Yeah, I was just thinking that if the new guy gives a lot of skill damage bonus, then we might pair that guy with Qin Shi Huan anyway, so maybe he doesn't have that much crazy bonus, right? But again, I think I'm just leaning towards the poison stuff.
Yeah, poison sounds fun. I don't know. That's why I really want it to happen.
Yeah, me too, man. I just wanna.
Especially because like Herman needs to get something, or he's gonna be hitting the bench very, very soon.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Wait, I forgot which one was the latest. Was it Herman or Zugelian? Zugelian was the latest, right? Herman was before.
No, Herman was after Zugelian.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense for us to bench Herman before Zugelian or before YSG, right? It's just.
Oh,
yeah.
YSG is like Attila.
But YSG is I guess it's like the way their kits work, right? The same as Attila, like because they have such high like bonuses, like Attila with normal damage and YSG with skill damage, that as these commanders keep doing more and more skill damage, and well, in the case of cavalry, combo damage, these normal damage and skill damage bonuses just are essentially just eternal, right? Because they will be so strong as long as there are new commanders that benefit from their stats.
Exactly. I don't think they had in mind that Attila and Wedge have such longevity in the game.
Yeah.
While we had commanders that when I saw Nevsky for the first time, I thought, okay, this guy's going to be here forever.
And Nevsky was here for a long time. Very good stats, high bonus. He just is getting kicked out just because of combo, I guess.
Yeah, but it was also because of the effects. I spoke with devs in Amsterdam, and we talked about Wedge and skill damage, and they asked what do I think, how much more bonuses on skill damage those commanders need. I said bonuses are fine, you need effects, because we had pincer and delta formations that have a lot of other effects that are happening. So I guess that's what also something they cooked, that they gave us some effects rather than just pure bonuses.
That's actually a good idea. I mean, that's actually a good point. I mean, combo has its, combo is very unique, right? Combo triggers effect with basic attacks, so it has a crazy rate generation, and it can proc horn, ring, drums, and any other prockables very good. Smite
Combo
also has its... Yeah.
Combo is most powerful formation because how commanders work. They trigger in each time they deal damage, combo damage, they deal it so many times that it triggers everything across the board a lot.
Yeah.
When you run Arthur,
when you run Arthur with Achilles, you basically can have full stacks on turn 1. You can have full stacks of 2 inscriptions, 7.5% more combo damage dealt and 7.5 less damage taken.
Yeah.
Turn 1.
Yeah. And Smite also has its own uniqueness, because that 45 rage reduction, I still think that it is just kind of insane. And both of the commanders are doing Smite damage, so it's total 90 rage per target that's getting hit. So Smite also has its own a thingy, it doesn't go crazy combo, but it just applies a lot of crowd control in terms of rage. So skill damage, maybe it has to have some sort of its own uniqueness as well. Maybe skill damage, just like you guys mentioned, it just deals a lot more damage with a lot more bonuses. Or Qin Shi Huang has a interesting effect, right? As a skill damage, he drains rage and consumes rage. Maybe again, I think we are going back to the poison thing. Maybe because of that, the new guy is gonna have a poison effect. Maybe. My cat just joined the chat.
And then I'm just gonna go back a little bit to inscriptions. Did you notice how inscriptions are now crazy good? When you look at Demolisher on Pincer,
oh yeah,
it has that boost, but it also gives you 75% chance to ignore the target's defense. That's very powerful.
Yeah.
And now with new Wedge, you have that stacking of damage dealt. It becomes very desirable. I mean, they moved from 10% to 12.5% on that position. That always what was the name of the Intrepid? Intrepid was 10. Now it's 12.5%. It's not such a big difference, but when you look at instrument is a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. So it's either so in terms of stats, we think that it's gonna be like maybe 30% attack or 20%. So we do agree that it's gonna be around like something like 50% stats, and it's either gonna have some sort of attack or maybe it just has some defensive stats, both defense and HP, and it also may have some movement speed or not at all. And then we may have also see some poison and exploding effect with AoE, and it's gonna be single target. It's just maybe. Do you guys think that it's gonna have some sort of buffs as well, or because it has that poison like a debuff, it's not gonna have any buffs? Because he's like, if we take a look into like Herman, Zhugulian, and Qin Shi Huan, they don't really provide any type of buffs. And buffs means like, this buff means like, for example, let me just on infantry, right? Like William Wallace provides some sort of shield and such and such. I don't think it's gonna have
other.
Yeah,
so buff to other marches.
Yeah, other marches.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I also
think that he might be restrained to protect itself, like, I don't know, 10% normal damage taken less and 10% smite damage taken less.
It might also, oh yeah, that's true, 10% normal damage reduction plus 10% smite damage, maybe a thing, because infantry will, I mean, archer does counter infantry, so it might have more protection against infantry as well, right? Smite damage.
Also maybe more damage dealt to infantry, possibly.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like if it's going to be poison, we need to go all in on that theory, right? Where it needs to have something similar to maybe what Herman has, right? Where Herman, I think he takes less damage from a poisoned enemy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. He applies skill damage taken. Let me just go to Herman. So with the poison, he applies skill damage taken increase. And then he also takes less damage from the poisoned target. 1% per stack, and then the stack can go up to 15 times. So technically he can take 15% less damage from the poisoned targets.
Right, I feel like if it's going to be a poison commander, it will have something like that as well. Maybe not exactly the same, but something where it benefits from being hit or hitting poisoned targets.
Maybe. Right? I mean, if it's poison, then we are gonna be pairing that guy with Herman. So Herman already benefits from poison stacks. So he
skill and expertise.
Yeah. Also, the expertise also benefits as well. Herman does skill damage taken increase with the poison stack, and also Herman takes less damage per poison stacks. Maybe the new guy, if it's poison, then maybe the guy also has some sort of similar effect, like the more poison stacks, he might be dealing more damage, or he might just be like become a commander that like spreads poison spreader or something like that, and then just enhances and just synergizes well with Herman. That might be the case. But also, if you think about in like a long term, at some point Herman is gonna get benched for sure, and then what? I guess like
it's like they need to make a decision whether they want to continue forward the path of poison or leave it in the past, right? That's sort of a because if they release another poison commander now, then they're kind of committing to keeping that thing long term, right?
Yeah.
Or just the rest of the kit of the commander needs to be time proof for until the next generation, and compatible, of course.
But I think we're onto something if it's going to be a poison commander, because for example in the case of Herman, he spreads a lot of poison, he has insta-proc poison, he has AoE poison spreading, he also casts his active skill again when he stacked a certain amount of poison, which again spreads even more poison. And then he also takes less damage from poison targets, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, for example, if we look at, I mean, we only have 2 poison commanders. If we look at the other one, she's kind of more of the exploding idea, right?
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
she only does it single target, she applies poison every single turn with her basic attacks and then, well, explodes basically on the single target and removes the poison stacks
Oh,
and
yeah.
deals damage.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's like we already have the sort of poison explosion that we're thinking about, not in an AoE sense, but
Yeah.
on a single target. Tomeris does that, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true. That's true. Tomeris also has an effect. Each stacks of poisoning increases the skill damage the target takes. Ah.
Yeah, that's just what the poison does for everyone. I think that's just the same
Tomeris,
poison that Herman has, right?
Yeah.
Even though Tamiris's poison stacks are much more potent than Herman's, they go up to 45%, right?
It's the same, I think, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, each stack applies 3% skill damage taken, and it goes to 15 stacks. They're the same, I think. Because I remember, I mean, I also used it a little bit, but Seawill was the one that like started running that a lot, like back in the Herman primary with Tomeris secondary.
Oh yeah.
To just essentially stack poison super fast and proc Herman's expertise a lot, right? Because Tomeris applies poisons every single turn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so all right, so this is the this was the first theory of like what would be some interesting. You guys want to just come up with like a generic AoE type of commander, or we just leave it like this? Okay, so we can do that. I also so I want to double down on the single target as well, because so this single target with the poison effect, I wonder if there is a way for it's gonna be single target, but it has to be a primary. So we might without the poison.
So like a generic single target and a generic AoE commander.
Yeah.
So now we've kind of done the poison theory, so now just normal commanders.
Yeah, so let's start off the generic AoE. What would be the damage factor is gonna be? What do you guys think?
I mean, it has to be like 2,600 maybe?
I was about to
5?
say 26, around 26, something like that. I think it makes sense.
Because if we think like last generation was if we think like the highest AoE damage dealer was BQ with 2,400 to 5, right? So since this is like a new gen, it has to be like 2,600 to 5 probably.
Yeah. 5 target, 2,600. So just 5 target. Maybe, do you guys think that there's a possibility that it's gonna be like 2,800 but 3 target?
Yeah, I think it's also possible.
Yeah, could be.
But yeah, if it's gonna be 5, I think 2.6, and then I think if it's gonna be 3, then probably 2.8.
Okay. All right. Probably some sort of proc damage as well, right? Because like Herman does have a proc, Zhuglian does have a proc damage. I mean, Qinshi is like weird. He's doing like this damage all the time. So it probably has some sort of proc damage as well, right? What do you guys think?
Actually, I'll go ahead and say, or I think it's gonna be a conditional proc maybe, not necessarily something that procs off of basic attacks, but maybe something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry. There's something that procs off maybe when you take skill damage or any sort of damage like smite combo or skill damage, or like something along those lines. I feel like it's gonna, or like if you get a certain debuff on you, like just something along those lines, right?
I also think that we need to keep in mind. So we are just making a generic AoE commander. So we gotta keep in mind that there is a possibility that if we just make another Zhuglian, then Qinshi is gonna go crazy.
Yeah, so we need a way to keep him as a primary.
Yeah, as a primary.
which they've tried to do before. I mean, OneTwo will know he played back then. Like, for example, when they released Honda, right, he was supposed to be a primary, but people ended up just running him secondary anyway, because nobody wanted to deal with the high rage requirement. And he basically just functioned kind of as a mini YSG, where he was just providing skill damage bonus to whoever you paired him with.
I remember back in the day when we had KVK with Bastion skills, and I ran Nebu and Honda, and it was my fastest march on the field.
Oh, D-Haze is like proc damage. Proc damage if the rage is higher than troop.
Well, wouldn't that make it like a QSH thing?
Yeah, I mean QSH, even though he does consume rage, QSH does have a rage in the bank, right?
Yeah.
He
So
does
like
have
the
a-
longer he fights, his rage will just stack up and sit very high. So like I feel like something that's like rage specific, if you have certain amount of rage, is leaning towards like QSH territory, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't expect them to release a commander. It's possible, but I just don't expect them to release a commander that people will want to pair with QSH.
Okay, I'm gonna just say it out loud. I'm signing off that they give us another QSH, and that's it. Just wrap it up.
Wait, do you
the
think that they're
argument
gonna
says-
give us another QSH?
No, I'm
Another
just
rage consumer.
no, I was making a joke. Just give us another, so we can run two. QSH.
Oh man.
Oh, just a second QSH.
Yeah.
Man,
QSH Prime.
that's gonna be insane, man. Archers are gonna be like godlike.
Yeah, why not pair them together? Just put them both in the same march. Two QSH primary, QSH secondary. No, not try to kill that march. Second QSH, that would be crazy. You could run QSH YSG and QSH ZL. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane. In terms of stats, I don't think there's gonna be like any change, right? It's gonna be like somewhat similar, around like maybe 50 stats. And
Yeah.
do you guys think?
I mean, it's dangerous territory, right? Because if it's going to be an AoE damage dealer, it needs some sort of like skill damage bonus if it's gonna be
Absolutely.
but if
strong,
it's,
which is
Absolutely.
dangerous because
Yeah.
they need to force him to stay primary. But at
Yeah.
the same time, even if let's say they cut the active skill damage in half, if the skill damage bonus is high enough, people will still just run it with QSH.
what if they just make it very simple, like, hey, if this commander is primary, you gain 30% skill damage bonus. If secondary, then it's 0.
Yeah, I mean that would be what they have to do, right? They have to gate the skill damage bonus to be when he's primary, because if they allow it for secondary, people will take a lot of sacrifices as long as it does better than YSG, which is
Yeah.
not that hard to do if it has high enough skill damage bonus.
Yeah.
Then people will just do that.
Yeah, so
It depends, but you still want to revive the second Archer March to be
Yeah.
more viable.
So also has something that avoids being secondary to Qin Shi Huan. Otherwise, Qin Shi Huan March is becoming much more godlike. So okay, the movement speed, march speed. What do you guys think? Maybe 0? Wait.
Ooh, I mean,
Wait. I mean, if we give it the march speed, then Qin Shi Huan and then this guy is gonna be really fast, but it needs to get some march speed. Maybe not. What do you guys think?
could be 0. I mean, if they want to pair it with Herman, like they don't need to do poison to make a Herman pair technically, right? If they just release a generic AoE damage dealer, you can still put that with Herman and
Yeah.
then run QSH with Zhuge Liang. So it could be where there is 0 march speed. I mean, historically, Archer's big AoE dealers, some of them have had 0 damage. Zhuge Liang and YSG both have 0 speed, so I think it might be possible to have 0 speed.
Yeah.
It just removes the pair of ZL, right? Then you can't
Yeah.
pair it with ZL.
Yeah. But maybe if it gives march speed, if it's meant to be a primary that doesn't go with Qin Shi Huan, then wait, are we benching Herman before Zhuge Liang or why is she? That's just so weird, man. because like Zhuglian needs March speed, so if this guy like ever to get paired with like other guys, anything but like Zhuglian or YSG, he does need some March speed though. So maybe 0, or maybe he is gonna have some March speed. Hello?
I think whatever happens, it's gonna have March speed. That's what I think at least.
Okay, we'll see. Now, so I think we're done with the like generic AoE. It's like a very generic, right? Generic stats, generic everything, but we are just not too sure what is gonna be something. But this new generic AoE commander has to be like go for a primary to avoid getting paired with Qin Shi Huang. Otherwise, Qin Shi Huang is becoming way too strong. So they might do something like that. We are not too sure what it is going to be.
I don't know if that's necessarily so, because for me, you want we have now 2 viable pairs for each troop type except archers. So even if we get something that's going to be paired even better with QSH, you're still going to have just 1 march of archers. No matter how good it is, it's just going to be still 1 march.
Yeah. So you think that, okay, this commander could get paired with Qin Shi Huang, like just generic AoE, and then he could get paired with Qin Shi Huang?
It could be. You know, we have Qin Shi Huang now is strong as it is.
Yeah.
Making 15% stronger. Why not? You know, but you are sacrificing a second archer march because you're going to be left over with what you have that doesn't work that great right now. Or you can pair Qin Shi Huang, whatever that you're using now, and use the new commander to have viable second march.
Oh, I just read a chat from Cursed. Oh man, he has like an insane point. Can they not just give another rage consumer? Because Qin Shi Huang already has 4-second skill cycle, so having more rage consumer, no matter what you do, you can't cast the skill faster. In that case, it doesn't make sense for you to pair that commander with Qin Shi Huang, because again, the fastest possible skill cycle is 4 seconds, right? You cannot go down just because there's 1 second internal cooldown skill to skill. So what if this guy is like just the AoE but another rage consumer, so that we just cannot pair with Qin Shi Huang and it has to be paired with someone else other than Qin Shi Huang?
It is possible, because if we also keep in mind Wedge 2 inscriptions, right, then the rage that you have with the instrument inscription is like benefiting rage consumers, right? So it is possible that they have set up for a future of more rage consumers.
That is right. We completely ignored brand new Wedge 2 and maybe look into some possible combinations that are going to harness those effects.
I doubt it will be like a similar to QSH of like, you know, the instant procs and that sort of thing, but maybe a rage consumer that casts his active skill, like a regular active skill AoE, when he has consumed a certain amount of rage, right? I think that is probably very possible.
Yeah, right. Another rage consumer. So pairing that guy with Qin Shi Huang, it doesn't make sense, because Qin Shi Huang just end up consuming 500 rage per second, and then he's gonna just become empty. So it's like it doesn't want to go with Qin Shi Huang. I think this does make sense. Okay, so that's a very good point. I think I just wrote it down. Maybe another rage consumer. We are just avoiding this. It is kind of like looking like a generic AoE guy, but maybe another rage consumer, or avoids being secondary or something like that. I like it. I like this idea. All right. So let's now move on to just a generic single target. I mean, I think the generic single target is just gonna be similar as the guy with the poison effect, right? Another 3000 damage, single target. Could have some instant proc. What do you guys think? I mean, if you
known to have archers are known to have instant proc damage to the target.
Yeah.
But it's more except Zuge, it's more on rally commanders. Both Nebu and Ashurbanipal have that direct damage.
I mean, Zuge does not have like instant proc, but he has something like instant
Yeah,
proc
he gets
damage.
silence.
On secondary skill, I think Zuge has.
Yeah, that's the marquee effect, right?
Yeah,
No. On secondary skill, on second skill.
yeah.
Please.
Silence
Oh, yeah,
disarm
when
or heal
he
immune, he has a
silence
chance to
disarm.
deal. And then also the marquee effect, like that also does AoE. Kind of like it's, I guess it's
QSH the QSH instaproc doesn't really work anymore, right? Because no commanders really disarm or silence or do any of that stuff anymore. Like there used to be Guan, obviously. Like
Yeah.
when QSH came out, it was like when Zhuge Liang came out, it was like a massive like, oh my god, you have a 50% chance to not get silenced by Guan. It's insane, right? Because everyone was using Guan. But yeah. Also, I want to address some people in the chat are saying about maneuver at ease will nerf rage consumers. I don't think that's the way it works, right? Because it works like that with QSH specifically because of the way he converts his basic attacks into skill damage, right? Whereas if it was a rage consumer with a regular active skill damage that doesn't have the same sort of weird converting your basic attacks, then maneuver at ease should work fine on another rage
Oh
consumer,
yeah,
right?
that's true. That is actually true.
Yeah, they're not going to be affected at all by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only because of the way that QSH converts his basic attacks into skill damage that maneuver at ease doesn't work properly on him. It's not because of the rage consumption mechanic.
That is true. That is true. Okay. So some sort of proc damage for sure, and then stats. I think we would have like again similar. Buff. Probably no buff. So debuff. This single target guy is like. So we are just making generic single target guy, but it has to be primary. So what do you guys think that like it's gonna make it like a primary commander that doesn't wanna go with Qin as a secondary? Another rage consumer, but it's single target.
Yeah, I mean rage consumer would like make sense if they want to avoid QSH pair.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on the idea they're just going to avoid. I think they're just making us another commander that they can use. I don't know. That's at least
Maybe.
what I think.
Yeah, maybe I'm reading too much into them not wanting to make QSH stronger.
Maybe we're just thinking too much, and they're just gonna give us a commander that.
Cortex, look at it from your perspective. You're running 3 archers. You don't necessarily want QSH much stronger. You want your third archer much stronger, or second one, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point, because even if they release something that would be good with QSH, I probably wouldn't even use it with QSH if it's also good with other commanders, right? Because YSG is only good with QSH. So, like, I can't really put... Well, sure, I could put YSG in other places, it will do fine, but with QSH it's very powerful, whereas the new commander will probably be more versatile, that can go with more commanders and still do fine. So yeah, maybe they don't care that much about not making it compatible with QSH. Possible.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? So, let's maybe kind of like choose what is the most likely the case that you guys want to see. Is it like a generic single target, or a single target that does a poison, or just generic AoE. Which one do you guys like? It's most likely gonna be the case. Let's actually ask chat as well. What do you guys think? Chat, just let us know. It's just
Personally, I like the poison the most. I want it to happen. Whether I actually think it's going to happen, I don't know.
And I also wanna see the poison, man.
Especially if it blows up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Zamorda says poison explosion AoE rage consumption. We want all. GKX says single target definitely.
If it would be like a really fast skill cycle rage consumer, I mean, if you pair that, and it's poison as well, if you pair that with Herman, that would go crazy. Imagine how many poison stacks you would put out everywhere.
Yeah.
If you have 4-second cycles.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. Xander says, also in addition to no compatibility with Jin Shi Huan, look at Cavs and Infantry right now. Both have very solid 2 marches, which could be easily compared to each other. So I'm thinking we definitely get a pair for Zugoyan.
Yeah, this is a great point, actually. Because right now you can have OP March by running Arthur Achilles, or you can split them up and have 2 great Cav Marches. That's why I said I don't think they're going to necessarily avoid being paired with Jin Shi Huan.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
ask OneTwo. What do you think is the second strongest cavalry march right now if you run 2 cavs?
If I run, I mean, I do run 2 Delta marches. I run Arthur Hector and I run GG and Achilles. For me, Arthur
So it's
Hector
because of
worked.
Hector it's become like viable, right? Because if I think just cavalry commanders, you don't have many options, right, for 2 Delta right now.
No, you don't. No. That's basically it. You can run Arthur with Philip. I don't like it. I think it's too squishy.
you can also run Arthur with David and Achilles with GG.
Yeah. You could. I'm not really crazy about running Garrison and Rally Commanders on the field.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
they're
never-
not designed for
never the
field
best.
anyways, right?
Exactly. They're never primary option, especially infantry. There's probably not a single infantry rally commander that you can run in the field well.
Guan.
Huh?
Guan.
Oh, yeah. Guan is a rally commander that was never a rally commander.
Yeah, rally commander that was released on the wheel for the only time I think that happened.
Yeah. I mean, we all had hopes that Scipio
Yeah.
is going to be that, but he wasn't.
I guess archers have been more lucky in that way, right? With having the garrisons
Oh,
and
absolutely.
rallies be field compatible. Because you had Nebu, you had Asher, you had Amani and Art, right? Back in the day, the 2 garrison commanders.
Absolutely. You could have used any of those. Even though Amani was super slow, but you could still use it.
Yeah, but it was okay. Even YSG, technically speaking, is a garrison, right?
Yeah. So for me, those 2 combo work. I know Hector is a little bit far-fetched for many players, an investment they shouldn't be doing, but I saw how powerful Delta is, and I wanted to harness that to the full, and for me those 2 marches really work great. Arthur Hector, they both have Hector complements what Arthur does and what Delta does, because he also has double combo in his primary skill when he's behind combo commander, and his 3rd skill I think also triggers more effects and more combo damage when combo damage is dealt. So that pair can trigger things so crazy. You can get like you overrage 5 times in a single turn. You're gonna have a horn trigger 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in a single turn. That's insane. You can't use it, but still.
Hey, you can still use the overage, and the more extra rage that you generate from the rage cap, right, 220, that is still going to act as a buffer, defending against all of the rage reduction effects happening. So on open field, if you generate overrage,
no, Bill, it won't. How much rage you create, you cap to 220, and reduction is going to go of those 220, not of everything that you stacked up.
No. The rage reduction works. The rage cap actually applies in the last. So you generate rage, and then you apply rage reduction, and then you apply rage cap.
Are you certain?
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm quite certain. Although, like,
I was always under belief that after you create rage for that turn, so to speak, then after everything, reduction is applied.
There was a discussion with Davor, and so I also thought the same initially, but I don't exactly remember. Was it Qin Shi Huan or who else was that? We were trying to figure out something, and then we asked like the VIP support of the how rage works and everything, and then they said that the rage reduction applies, and then the rage cap applies the last at the end of the turn. And then we were like, okay, this kind of makes sense. I don't remember which exactly, like what case we were talking about. I don't exactly know for sure.
I don't know. For me, it doesn't make sense, because you can overrage by a lot, and then there's basically no effect to the rage reduction.
Yeah, but you cannot really overrage. Like generating rage a lot is I mean,
for me, overrage was always overblown. I never thought that it's a negative thing to overrage. Just generate as much rage as you can and use what you can.
Yeah. I think we can test it quite easy. Like maybe it's not gonna be during this stream, but just in order to test this theory, we can just have a garrison that is gonna get swarmed by a lot of targets, right? And I think this is actually proving our point. So just a normal garrison, if you are getting swarmed, you are going to be casting your skill every 5 seconds, because that's 220 rage per turn, and then you need 1000 rage. So fastest possible skill cycle with normal commander in garrison is every 5 turns. And we don't really see in today, like when the rally and garrison getting swarmed, we don't really see their skill cycle is going slower, like 6 or 7, just because the rage cap is getting applied first and then rage reduction effects, right? I don't think I have seen that. It means that, you know, when people are swarming, we are swarming with Arthur that reduces rage, and then also we are swarming with smite damage. And regardless of they are reducing rage, if the rage reduction was getting applied after the 220 cap, then it means when you are getting surrounded on garrison, then your skill cycle is definitely gonna go like from 5 to 6 or maybe even 7, depending on how much rage is getting reduced, because you are applying the cap first, and then if you apply the, like for example 45 rage reduction, that 220 is gonna be like 180 or 75 or something like that, right? So it's no longer going to reach the 5 seconds of skill cycle. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I understand your point, but I think if it would be reduced like that, then the mechanics of reducing rage would be basically useless. It would be so beneficial.
but I don't think it's gonna be useless, because we cannot really generate like above 220 rage every turn, like especially on open field. It's quite hard though. I mean, Zigglean does generate a lot. I mean, combos does generate a lot, but I don't think it happens all the time.
Yeah, I think we are still on the field commanders. We didn't touch garrison. I don't know if we will, but that's probably something that the garrison commander is going to be equipped with to reduce raid cycle, not to prolong raid cycle for Scipio Emilianus and Ivar Rally, because that thing is insane.
Yeah,
That thing can go 5 turns skill cycle, and that's that's crazy.
Maybe silence.
Yeah, who knows?
wait, silence on
Silence
Archer?
or some kind of a rage manipulation, whatever.
Yeah, maybe the garrison could be an AoE silencing garrison. That would be crazy, bro.
Oh my god,
Circle
that
AoE silence.
yo, that
Cortex, you're bringing up all the dream wishes today,
I'm
Yo.
an archer player. What can I do?
if there is a commander that does AoE silence, even if it's garrison or rally, that commander
Yeah,
is
I'm gonna bring it on
automatically
the field,
going
of
on,
course.
automatically going on the field, man.
Of course. It's Guan 2.0, but for archers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna make him tank as possible and just have him there.
Yeah, just put him with Shajar, they heal, and then they don't die and silence everything.
That's oh man, that's gonna be quite tough.
I mean, I wish they would bring up Shajar. That they would. I mean, just well, how about this? If Shajar is secondary, then when this new primary commander, when he procs a skill, that he makes effect that all true damage dealt is turned into skill damage. Well, that would revive her right away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think her kit is that good in general, though.
You don't?
It's
mean,
just
That is like very
like
specific
defensive
though.
stats, healing, and like a single target damage factor, right? I'm sure she does like a couple buffs to 2 allied marches, but
I mean, her buffs are great. But isn't healing damage AoE, or am I wrong? I'm not an archer player.
healing damage AoE? No, it's single target.
Yeah.
Oh, it's single.
Yeah, Shajar
Yeah,
is all
she's
the way
always single
single.
target.
She's very, very tanky, has some march speed and buffs, but she just doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah, that's my issue with her. I just like she doesn't have like skill damage bonuses. She doesn't really have anything, right? She's just a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about what would it take to revive her, and I think it would be they would have to create a commander specifically for her just to revive her. What
Yeah,
they can do
like
is-
something that benefits off healing, or something they would have to do something along those lines.
Yeah, or they could just freaking make her skill damage in whatever position she is. I mean, it would help a lot already.
Yeah,
Well-
she's still just be a tank though. I just don't see using her over even like a Herman or even an Asher, to be honest, because they just way out damage her, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would rather use Ashurbanipal than her.
So she's in a tough spot. I think it was just a miss. And to be honest, like Wallace got kind of revived with Sun Tzu Prime, right? But he was like, if we look at all the commanders in that cycle, they were all kind of like a miss, like Belly Prime for cavalry, right?
Yeah, Belly.
He turned into being like a great swarmer, but as for
Wallace,
open fields,
other than that, has a good kit. I think Wallace has a good kit.
Yeah, I think Wallace is better than the other two for sure. But at the same time, like if it wasn't for the way Sun Tzu Prime specifically works with Wallace, he would probably also be sitting on the bench right now, right? If not very soon. So like all those commanders in that cycle, to be honest, were kind of like Belly Prime, Shajar, Wallace. Yeah.
I regret every single statue in Belly Prime.
Still using the swarm flags, so Nevsky Belly Prime is my swarming march for my second swarming march for cavalry, so I'm still getting some use out of them. But...
Yeah, that is powerful swarming march.
So I made a poll and asked the chat which option would you prefer, and the result is like the generic AoE and single target with poison is very tight, close together. So I think people either want to just, straightforward, no shenanigans. We just want an AoE damage that's like the next generation that keeps up with the damage output of the current commanders. Or this single target with poison that does like a explosive thingy. It just seemed quite interesting. I think
I think you sold them. I think you sold them on that. When you brought up the explosion, that's it. That's it for everyone.
You sold me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed interesting. I mean, just a normal poison effect, it seemed like just maybe a little bit boring. So like explosion thingy, like it's still single target, but with the poison it becomes AoE, so that it pairs well with Airmen. 15% people do think that they kind of want to see something other though. So that's a lot of percent. Guys, if you have any like other ideas, you guys can share in the chat. Let me share the chat as well. Also, I feel like we are gonna be ending the stream maybe like in 20-30 minutes because we do have the guests. I don't want to take too much time, use too much of their time. So yeah, so let's maybe do one last wrap up. Maybe let's read some comments and see what the chat thinks, and see if we can spot like a good idea.
I see that Big Tonka 2274 said Kusunoki Prime is coming. Do you guys think that we might see revival of some old archer?
I mean, one prime that has to come for archers at one point, right? I'm not saying right now, but at some point, YSG Prime needs to happen, right? At one point.
I mean,
I'm not saying right now.
Imagine that. Cortex, imagine YSG Prime and some insane skill kit.
100% skill damage mode.
That would be new most popular commander in the game.
Hey, but like everyone was asking for Sun Tzu Prime for years, right? Because Sun Tzu is such a popular commander. Like I feel like YSG is in the similar boat, right? Where at some point it has to happen.
I mean, we are gonna be getting Garrison Commander as well, right?
Yes. Oh, YSG Prime Garrison. Ooh.
This Kusunoki is also Garrison Commander, by the way.
Yeah, but Sun Tzu was a Garrison, but he wasn't a Garrison in the Prime, so...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe...
Yeah. Maybe.
I guess it's not directly tied to each other.
What if it's a single target, it's Elcid Prime?
Elcid Prime.
I think Elcid is probably one of the most unpopular commanders in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Elcid
true.
Prime.
If they wanna release the Prime, they wanna pick the fan favorite, right? I wouldn't mind Kusunoki Prime. Kusunoki is nice.
Who else could get a prime? I guess YSG.
Yeah, YSG.
Who else?
I think
There's not really many other good options for archers for a prime, I think, at this point.
Those are. I mean, back in the day, I loved Ramses, but I don't think they're going to be reviving him.
No. I mean, a lot of the primes they've done have been from like integration or leadership commanders also, right? Like if we look at like Scipio, that was a epic leadership commander, right? Or even Burica was a integration peacekeeping commander. Or Joan was a farming commander, right? So it doesn't necessarily need to be from the same troop type, I guess.
Let's see. Hey, Big Tonka, super chat. I appreciate you, man. Kusanagi have the AoE direct damage plus additional damage. Works like Shapor plus Wedge 2. Sunsuwa's Garrison and come to open field. Big Tonka really wants to see Kusanagi. Which I don't.
Artemisia Prime. Artemisia is a popular commander. Maybe Artemisia Prime. Or if they're gonna do Poison Explosion, Tomeris Prime.
Yeah, maybe Tamaris Prime. Maybe, right? Wak Channel Aja Prime. Man, that's...
that guy just came out.
Wait.
Oh wait, no, that's not the Archer. The Archer is
That's
like
even
Siege,
the... yeah, that's the Gathering Commander, right?
Oh yeah, what was the Archer guy called?
Let's see.
The gold key guy?
Siach Kak.
I don't think that will work.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. Yeah, this is.
That's why I didn't want to pronounce it. I'll let you.
I mean, the YSG Prime, Kusunoki Prime, yeah, could be Tomoris Prime as well. All the fan favorites.
I mean, if they're releasing a big rage requirement, they could do Edward Prime with 4,000 damage factor or something. Imagine like a 4,000 or a 5,000 5-target AoE, 3,000 rage requirement. You gotta build up the rage bar, but when you reach it, you just kill the whole field.
So we started off on what would be our dream commander, but that's exactly how we're ending up, you know.
Yep, Edward Prime with 3,000 rage requirement.
Man, I mean, no limit. They might be. They just go crazy sometimes. Who knows, man? I think we just gotta wait and see.
I'm telling you guys, they're having a blast watching this if they're watching.
Yeah, I
Surely
mean,
we must have hit on something. Like, if we didn't, I mean, not maybe on the full commander, but at least some detail of the commander.
Yeah, March speed.
Yeah, March speed. maybe 20 to 25, maybe 0. We hit on that.
We laid out all the options. Maybe it's gonna rain, maybe it's gonna snow, maybe it's gonna be sun.
We said maybe single target, maybe AoE, maybe generic, maybe.
well,
So basically, all in all, we guessed everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
is
we mentioned all the
quite
possibilities.
interesting to just talk and theorycraft, and whether we were correct or not, it's just interesting, man. And I guess we can see like when the actual commander details gets released, which I have a gut feeling that it's gonna be very soon. Very soon. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
me too. Should be. I mean, it should be soon, right?
Yeah, there was some speculation that it's going to come up with this Easter event and all, but maybe at least announcement, but nothing happened.
There was this sneaky update yesterday, right? Did you guys notice?
No.
Nope.
There was one update where, hey, you gotta restart your client, download the update, and it was like 70 megabytes of data. Maybe they already added the commander, maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe.
Let me scroll down. Oh, nothing.
No, if it was there and we were sitting here doing this, can you imagine it was just sitting there at the bottom of the
my
commander
God.
list?
That would be the most hilarious thing ever. Philip would have to delete the stream right away.
Yeah. Too embarrassing.
Yeah, like they just released the details and we're still sitting here talking with them.
Yeah, everyone in the chat's like, hey guys, it's on Facebook. What are you doing, guys? And we're just sitting here. Well, maybe
I mean, the
poison
chat-
explosion.
Yeah, chat will let us know. Chat will not let us down. for sure.
Chat would call us out already.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think I am thinking about wrapping up the stream. Thank you, Cortex and OneTwo come in. I do not want to take too much time of you guys. We have already been streaming for 2 hours, so I appreciate you and thank you so much for accepting the invitation and coming.
No problem.
Thank you for having me.
It was pleasure. Thank you both, Cortex, Billick. It was pleasure theory crafting with you, having fun. This was great, and I hope the audience took some enjoyment from it too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Likewise. Thank you guys. It was fun.
So again, guys, chat, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream as well. And I'm gonna send you guys over to someone else. Let's raid Enzo. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.